Welcome back. The Coal India OFS is near completion. Sapna Das caught up with Tuhin Kanta Pandey, the DIPAM secretary, to understand what the response has been like on the government's divestment plans. Take a look.
Coal India OFS has done well. We had the first day yesterday for QIBs, and we got 3.46 times the subscription. And today it's also has gone up well.
Okay, so you are definitely looking at a mop-up higher than 42 or 100 crores. Anything further that you would like to add to the numbers broadly?
Yeah, we will have 4,000 crore plus proceeds.
Okay, so as of now, sticking to the number. What does this now mean in terms of your strategy for the current financial year? You have started the year on a good note. Are we to understand that it will be more in terms of, OFSs, especially looking at the market situation? And what would be your assessment on the market situation also, sir?
I think the market situation is stable. Indian economy has been growing very well. You had the, it was 7% plus 7.2% growth rate for the last year, FY 22-23. We have also going forward for 23-24 FI as well. The forecasts are on the upside. Despite the headwinds, I think Indian economy is doing better. And capex also, there has been a good upcycle, particularly on government spending on capex has gone up well. So I think overall the market situation looks all right.
Okay, so in terms of your strategy, is it going to be like, more of OFSs? Also looking at your target, which is very reasonable and very practical, would OFSs be your route forward?
See, as I said, that we are, I've been stressing it, that we have actually a dividend as well as the disinvestment put together. We have to look at it. The target is 94,000 crore put together.
Current fiscal.
Current fiscal. And we have a fair amount of, as I said, that last year also we had got good movement on dividend side. We continue to perform well, and some of the indications are that the performances of the CPSCs continue to go very well. We have consistent dividend policy, as you know, and therefore consistently the CPSCs have been giving very good dividend. You would have seen several CPSCs who have declared results, even the final dividend. But more than the final dividend, I think even at the interim stage, they have been giving a fair amount of dividend. And I think that has been an important part of our strategy as well. On disinvestment, as I said, that we have a number of transactions which are on the pipeline. We endeavor to take them to the completion. Some of the issues that we faced in these transactions are being sorted out. For example, in terms of some of these CPSCs, we had the issue of demergers.
BML and SCI.
Yeah, and also in the NMDC steel. And we had, in fact, a very significant year, last financial year, in which we had 3 demergers. NMDC steel, which has successfully been listed as well. Then BEML, where BEML BLAL has been also listed. And then there is an SCI LAL, which is the land asset holdings of the SCI, which is already demerged, and now we are getting it ready for listing.
Okay. So in terms of BML, when can we expect the government to call for the financial bids? Also, there have been some murmurs in the last year, and kindly clarify on this, that probably the investors in BML are no longer there. Is that incorrect?
Well, I think on the BML side, I would say that there have been certain, last mile clearances also have to be organized from the government of Karnataka, especially. There was an issue with government of Kerala that has been sorted out in terms of land and registration of the land which is there. There's certain issues relating to Mysuru land still remains. with Government of Karnataka, and I think that has been as per the court judgments and others, there will be, good movement in my opinion to forward on that. Similarly, on the SCLR issue, we have also the last minute, last mile, clearances from Government of Maharashtra as well. So these will be sorted out, and I think then we'll proceed forward with bidding.
Okay, so no timeline as such you would like to give, at least for BML, calling with financial bids, maybe a quarter more to go, or maybe earlier, or maybe a think again?
I think we will let you know, because I think we are just sorting out these last mile issues.
Sure. So also in terms of IDBI Bank, I think that is one big, strategic disinvestment that everybody is waiting for. Can you share with us what is the status briefly at the moment?
IDBI Bank is, as we say, we are fit and proper, sort of test which they have to undergo for the people who have been qualified. They have to be further qualified by the RBI in terms of the fit and proper test, and following which, there will be a due diligence. So that's proceeding well.
That's proceeding well. Can we expect the government to call for the financial bid sometime August, September?
Well, again, I will not exactly hazard the guess in terms of months, but yes, as soon as our due diligence process is done, then I think we'll proceed with the bidding.
Not spending too much time on this, but just to kind of get an assessment again. So is this one transaction that we can be completely sure of that you'll be completing in the current financial year, say by March next year?
I think we have been endeavoring to complete several of these transactions, which also includes, for example, HLL Life Care, where we are fairly advanced stage, which also includes PDIL, which also includes FSNL, and SCI BML, as I've mentioned, and IDBI Bank. So I think all of these, NMDC Steel. So these are the transactions we have been closely monitoring in order to close the transaction side.
So last year you made a lot of effort on Concor, for example, but we have not heard much after that. Anything that you would like to share with us at this stage?
We'll let you know when we are ready. Thank you.
Sir, one last thing, sir. Sir, you also had plans for HZL OFS. There were certain issues with the Vedanta Group that has been sorted out. That's what we are given to understand. Can you share anything in terms of the road forward? That's one. And sir, second, there have been media reports in terms of a BALCO listing. Can you share with us what is the situation currently, or broadly, how is it that the government is assessing the situation?
Well, I think on HZL, you know about the government stand, and well, that's something which is actually now a thing of, I would say, past. Going forward, I think we will continue the goal of how we can also come out of the residual in a certain calibrated manner.
And sir, BALCO?
BALCO, our stance has been that we would like to go for a public listing, and I think we will engage the interlocutors along with the Ministry of Mines on that goal.
Has the process started, or this is something just in a thought process at the moment?
There have been some discussions on that, but I think it needs to. Ministry of Mines is taking a lead on that matter.
Okay. And so one last one, people also want to know about LIC. It's been 1 year in the month of May since it got listed. The stock is still like 37% off its listing price. Anything forward looking on this front? Also, I think one fear factor in people's minds is the fact that you have done a very small issue with LIC. So down the line, obviously government will have some plan to offload more. Obviously, there are certain rules. You don't do things in a year. So that year is past. Anything you'd like to tell us, like, maybe you'll be taking some more time to, come out with the second issue, stuff like that. Any material input that you can give us?
I think on the second question first, let me make it very clear that we are in no hurry to bring in any kind of FPO on the LIC front. And we have a general sort of powers regarding that, and there is no hurry at all. We have to, I think we are also very much want that, there is a broader understanding about the strengths of LIC among a wider set of investors. And I think LIC management is making a sincere effort in that direction, to engage with the analysts, to engage with the investors, to know while they continue to work on their strengths and perform on several of those new things which they undertook to do. For example, if you really look at consistently their quarterly results, you will notice how clear they are about earnings. Your earnings are showing a consistent increase, and the last quarter earnings and the yearly earning have been fabulous. They're making every effort to improve their market share, but more importantly, to have a qualitative change in their portfolio, and they have worked quite hard on the higher non-par business, where they have clocked good growth. Their VNB margins have consistently improved over the next quarters. Now, if you are saying that there are other issues relating to banca and other things which they are looking at, they are equally working on that. So overall, I think a few quarters are important, because it became a listed company only in May 22, and there was also some issue regarding the embedded value initially, that whether LIC would come out with consistently with the embedded value they have. So as per their stand, they come out with every half year, and they came with their embedded value calculations in September 22 and as also on March 23, and that has also gone up fairly well, up from about 5.4 lakh crores has gone up to 5.84 lakh crores. So
I think again September.
I think it's very important to ensure that LIC continues to outperform themselves on several fronts where they have chosen to do, and communicate it effectively to the markets. And hopefully, I think the investors would see the result sometimes round and.
Thank you very much, sir. Just one last thing, sir. Just reminds me. So bank, especially PSB net profits, they've crossed 1 lakh crore for FY23. With such robust bottom line, is there a plan, apart from dividends, of course, to do some kind of a small OFS or small stake sales in the PSBs at some point in time? Any assessment, any reassessment, any revisiting that the government is doing?
I'll not comment on PSBs at all. I think that is for the Secretary DFS to respond. But I would say that the banking sector has done extremely well, and they're in a good position to raise capital if they need, and also to make credit dispersal, on a high growth path. And I think that's quite important for the economy.
All right, that's an interesting and important conversation, and we will continue to get you excerpts of that through the course of the evening. Well, we take a quick commercial break here, but when we come back, excerpts from our conversation with one of the largest fund managers in the country, S. Narain of ICICI Prudential Asset Management Company, that comes up in just a bit. Stay tuned.